Authorities in Zimbabwe have taken the fight against litter a notch higher. The government says it plans to put in place a number of measures to curb littering. Information Minister Jennifer Muswere told journalists earlier today that a statutory instrument will be promulgated to compel political parties to mobilize their constituencies to remove their campaign materials from the environment. The National Clean Up campaign will also be made compulsory. Minister Muswere said public transport vehicles whose passengers dump waste through the windows and along roads will soon be fined.
In order to curb the unsustainable accumulation of waste, number one, that a statutory instrument will be promulgated to make the National Clean-up Program compulsory, that funds collected by local authorities from residents for waste management will be ring-fenced in order to ensure that the authorities do not divert the funds for other uses, with EMA supervising the usage of the funds. Number four, that deterrent fines for public littering will be introduced and enforced, and repeat offenders charged with no option of a fine but given mandatory community service.
Clerk of the National Assembly, Kennedy Chokuda, has confirmed receiving a letter recalling 15 legislators and 17 councillors. The letter was authorized by Sengeso Chabangu, who claims to be the party's interim Secretary General. Mr. Chokuda confirmed receiving the letter to ZTN Prime. But in response, the Triple C disowned Mr. Chabangu, saying members of the public are advised to disregard these with the contempt they deserve. The Triple C party has neither recalled nor does it intend to recall any of its recently elected deployees. 3 men who committed a robbery involving 2.7 billion United States dollars from ZB Bank Chinoi in 2021 have been sentenced to 30 years in prison by Harare Regional Magistrate Mr. Clever Tsikwa. Shadrack Njoa, the former internal security manager for Cash in Transit, who was the mastermind of the robbery, Tendai Zuze and Neverson Mwamuka, today have been convicted of robbery charges. Mr. Tsikwa initially sentenced each one of them to 10 years in prison before suspending 2 years on condition of good behavior. They are to serve an effective 8 years each behind bars. At times, the world of humanitarian aid appears disjointed as different organizations compete for resources to carry out the same task. But now the organizations are coming together under one platform to better coordinate disaster response in anticipation of drought conditions expected during the 2023-2024 farming season. Care Country Director Patrick Sikana spoke earlier today in Harare, where some 18 non-governmental organizations signed into the Zimbabwe Humanitarian Partnership Forum.
Our role is always to work for, with, and through government. And so we are having conversations with government, and they will guide on what are the priority actions that need to be put in place. Ours is to support those actions as defined by government, to make sure that we are pre-positioning the resources and identifying the communities that are going to be hardest hit, so that when this comes to effect, we already have resources on the ground to support, whether with food or with other non-food items that the communities will require. But we will work at the bidding of government.
Mzilikazi High School in Bulawayo will on Friday host the 2023 edition of the Proton Nash Under-20 National Boys Finals. We get more in the following report.
High school football doesn't get any bigger than the Proton Surrey Nash Under-20 National Finals, which have become a staple on the football calendar over the years. On Friday, 12 of the best school teams from around Zimbabwe will converge on Mzilikazi High School in Bulawayo for the 2023 edition. Defending champions Goromonzi will battle it out with a different cast of challengers, as their several teams were making their finals debuts after emerging as the best from their respective provinces. Proton Chief Marketing Officer Daniel Chipato says this highlights the level of talent in the school system.
Thank you very much. You know what excites me most for this Proton and Surrey Nash Under-20 Boys Soccer Tournament is the coming in again of new teams. building up to the national finals. Obviously, we had all the teams participating nationally, but now from the zonal, the district, and now the national finals, some of the teams that have actually come through shows that talent is actually diversifying, and we actually have new players coming in. So it's actually good for us.